Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. Don't forget to loaf and lubricate, very important. All right, I begin with what I would call the power of positive thinking. How do you use the law of attraction, which says that which is like unto itself is drawn? And so I have experienced this truth, and I try to impart it to others. And then life is so much more fun. Now, it's so weird to say fun when there's so much shit going on in the world. But one of the phrases I picked up from Joseph Campbell is joyful participation in the sorrows of the world. So it's not like I say this and I'm unconscious of the suffering that exists in my life and other people's lives and in other people whose lives are not just bourgeois dukkha, but is experiencing hell while they're on earth. And yet we have something to share in terms of lightening the load. Now, that's how I understand what it is to awaken joy. You can't force it, but you can be open to possibilities. And this is where the meditation teachers come in. They're always saying that you can't block the arising of thoughts. That's not possible. They just bubble up by themselves, but you don't have to let them invade your mind. And the way you do it is by seeing them clearly, not reacting, and letting them go. Remember, I said yesterday, it's like pressing the clear button on the calculator. And if you do that, you'll end up with a certain kind of power. And that power has to do, number one, with not being caught by the emanations coming from your own shadow, because you've done quite a bit of psychoanalytical work on your isolated ego instead of the part of you that's connected to everybody. And then a cared for body. Take care of yourself. It'll perform better and last longer in terms of the service that you have to give to others and the individual pursuits that you enjoy. So, and also the fact is, like, everybody has a mess. You got to stay in the mess. There's no getting away from the mess. So you'll do it if your body is healthier and stronger and has more energy available to you. And as a result of that, I always say you'll end up with the initiation of the four basic quadrants I talk about: king, queen, male and female warrior, high priest, high priestess, and male and female lover. And what that means is basically you've tapped into your inner ruler, the part of you that looks over the whole field and decides. Yesterday I said bring the gavel down, right? But those decisions are based on having the wise man or the wise woman tell you what's what. So while the king or queen looks out over the whole field and desires the best for the community, that's called the line of nurturance. And while they ask the magician or the high priest or high priest inside themselves, what's going on? What's your vision? That's the line of cognition. You have to be able to see. You pass that vision to the king. If the king and queen say, okay, then it goes on to the warrior. That's the line of aggression, moving towards a goal, disciplining yourself and acting to make that vision possible. And then if you're all aligned, then the inner lover comes along and brings its joy, brings its playfulness, and its integration. But today is Thursday, so lest I leave without a story, this is one I picked up from Ramakrishna. It's really great. And since the first principle in yoga is all about nonviolence, I just think this is a great one to share. Once there was a village that was being interfered with in its daily life by a local snake that was biting and hissing at all people. And so everyone was afraid to leave their village. One day a Swami was walking by and they explained the situation to the Swami. Says, I'll go out there and take care of this. You can't go, the snake will bite. He says, snakes no heart. Yogis have no fear in the jungle. So he walked out into the bush and he chanted his mantra, Om, Om, Om. And the snake crawled out, bowed down before the yogi saint. And the saint says, what's all this nonsense I hear? Hissing and biting people? Has nobody initiated you into the holy word? The snake said, no, reverend sir, no. And so he gave him the mantra. He blessed him. He says, you practice this mantra, you'll be very mellow, everything will be good. I'll come back and see you soon. So the snake took to the mantra. It was fantastic. He was never feeling so many peaceful rushes before, lost all of his desire to hurt anybody, and just kept living on fruits and roots and leaves. But when the young boys, the ones who were the boldest, saw that the snake was not hissing or moving or anything, they approached it with a stick and they poked it and they poked it and they poked it, and they finally grabbed it by the tail and they flung it around his head and they smashed it this way, that way, this way, and lifted it as a bloody pulp. And that's how it was. A couple of weeks later, the yogi came back. He said, how's everything in the village? He said, oh, it's really great. The snake is not, the snake is probably dead. What do you mean the snake is dead? Oh yeah, the boys in the village, they came, they poked it, and they saw it wasn't moving, so they took it around, they whipped it this way, whipped it that way, and they left it. Oh my God! So he went out, they chanted the mantra again. Om, om, om. The snake slithered out, bandaged up, and he says, "Oh my God, what happened to you?" He said, "Well, he chanted, he gave me the mantra. I started to chant it. I felt so peaceful. I lost all of my tendencies to want to hurt or harm anybody, and so they saw that I wasn't doing anything, and they came and they poked me and they pricked me and they moved me this way, that way, and they let me the bloody messes you see now. So you're such an nincompoop. I told you not to bite, but I didn't tell you not to hiss."